Obasanjo is perhaps seeing Peter Obi as a puppet that he can play around with as soon as he gets into office.
Well, first and foremost, there is the saying that the greatest place in hell will be reserved for those who keep silent in times of moral crisis. Nigeria is going bad, not because of the violence of the bad people, but because of the silence of the good ones. Obasanjo has refused to keep silent in times of moral crisis. We are in a crisis in this country. Obasanjo wants to escape going to hell by being an accomplice to corrupt leaders. Because any nation that votes corrupt politicians are no longer victims, but accomplices. Why I brought this issue is that Obasanjo knows everything that is required to sit on that seat. He's talking about the qualities that we need in the next leader. When I heard these gentlemen talk, I was really asking myself, is Obasanjo in the ticket in 2023? Because they were just talking about Obasanjo this, Obasanjo that. And we are talking about recruiting the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I will tell you what Obasanjo saw in Peter Obi, and then you will do the matchmaking, and the Nigerians will do the judgment. Obasanjo saw in a man who has the capability to secure and unite this country. He did it in Anambra State. He secured Anambra State from being the worst secured state to the best by the confirmation of the IG of police then, Muhammad. He saw in Peter Obi a man that will unite through not leaving anybody behind. No ethnic, no religious, no section will be left behind in Peter Obi's judgment, in Peter Obi's government. Obasanjo looked at Peter Obi and saw a man that will shift emphasis from consumption to production through running a production-centered economy driven by agrarian revolution and export-oriented industrialization. Obasanjo saw in a man who will build world-class and expansive physical infrastructure, not through borrowing, but through integrated public-private partnership and entrepreneurial public sector governance. He saw in Peter Obi a man who will leapfrog this country into the fourth industrial revolution through scientific and technological innovations to create digital economy. Obasanjo saw all these things and sat down and wrote a letter and said, if we want a Nigeria that should be redirected from poverty to prosperity, the only man that can do it is Peter Obi. One of the reasons Obasanjo considered by endorsing Peter Obi is because he knows that he is a man that will embark on effective legal and institutional reforms to aggressively fight corruption, entrench rule of law, reduce cost of governance, plug wastages, and ensure the establishment of honest and efficient civil service. Obasanjo knows that no man with such quality like this can be a puppet. Obasanjo does not even want a puppet to govern Nigeria.
But he has said it here.
Yes.
That meaning people who can pull his ears.
Exactly.
That is a needle with thread attached. So it means that there are people who can actually caution Peter Obi.
No,
Do you want a president that someone from somewhere can control by pulling the thread on their needle, or someone that you can pull the ears of a president? Is that the CEO that you want to employ?
I was coming to that. Because what Obasanjo meant was simply that democracy is our lekon, Benny, not a milokon. It's a collective thing. Obasanjo knows that no man can know it all. And all the people that claim that know it all have brought indescribable destruction to this country. You and I, you are aware of the milokons. When you talk about the Miloko, it's not an exclusive copyright of Tinubu. Atiku and Tinubu, they are their Milokos. Did you not hear that Northerners should vote only the North, not Yoruba, not Igbo candidate by Atiku? What is that? Not a Miloko. Have you not heard that I single-handedly made Buhari president? A man who boasted in Ogun, a Tinubu, that he can single-handedly make Buhari president, can no longer single-handedly make himself president. I don't know why he's campaigning. That is what Obasanjo is telling you. That P2B is not an Emilokon. P2B is an Awalekon. A man who is not going to act alone, who will listen. I am not going to follow a commander-in-chief that doesn't listen, because no man knows it all. If you're a medical doctor, you're not a lawyer. If you're a lawyer, you're not an engineer. P2B has said it clearly that the Nigerian people are going to be the president through him.
All right.
And that he, when he was in the labor retreat, he called the labor people. He said, bring your demands, write it down. We will sit together. We will look at it together. We will sign when we have agreed on what we will achieve. And don't leave after the election. Come and continue monitoring it to see whether I am achieving it. That is what Obasanjo meant. I'm not talking about... Let me just make one point more.
Okay.
P2B was a governor under APGA. APGA had only one state. No godfather up, no godfather down. Was he a puppet to anybody? And you're talking about when he is the president. No, he listens.